Nestling at the north end of the Vale of York, with the Cleveland Hills to the east and Swelldale and Wensleydale to the west, lie the Cowtons. A rural parish of some 1,200 residents, the Cowtons consist of the thriving villages of East Cowton and North Cowton. The medieval villages of South Cowton and Atley Cowton no longer exist, and this area of the parish is mainly agricultural. Local history is of great interest to many local residents, and here we see Neil Reed, a member of a well-known Cowtons family, introduce the Brief Guide to the Cowtons, a book researched and compiled by a group of local residents.
Yes, history has been one of my interests for a long time, and we had a series of evening classes which, with professional historians who actually produced a great deal of the material which is in the book. And so I think we now have a clear idea of at least the last 1,000 years of Cowton history.
Could you sort of tell us a little bit about the sort of more modern history of Cowton?
Well, of course, in the 19th century, for which we have very good records, the village was totally agricultural. People either worked the land or were in the ancillary trades like the village joiner or the blacksmith who serviced the local farms. The heyday of this was probably the 1880s, when the railway was in full swing. The railway actually came to Cowton in the 1840s, and that provided employment. There was, as well as running the station, there were railway workers' cottages, and so the only possible employment other than farming was the railways. Well, of course, from the high point of Victorian farming, the village sort of started declining. The early years of the 20th century saw a movement away from agriculture. People for the first time were able to travel to the town, the railway, and later on especially the buses enabled people to move from the village into the town where they could find better employment, or at least more remunerative employment. The farms in the 1930s were very much in decline.
Some 30 families in the parish are directly involved with agriculture and its ancillary industries. Mixed farming predominates, for example here at Station Farm, which we visit at lambing time.
Mum, come on. Come on, Mum, I'll wait. Come on.
One of the ancillary industries is an agricultural machinery business. However, while modern machinery has replaced much physical labour in today's world, the age-old tasks of lambing, milking and general stockmanship still continue. At this time, the agricultural industry is facing many problems, and one result is a number of dairy farms in the parish going out of milk production. On a brighter note, the social and gastronomic needs of the Cowtons are well served by the Arden Arms in South Cowton, the Blacksmiths in North Cowton, and the Bees Wing in East Cowton. In these rural villages, the car plays a vital role in enabling villagers to travel to work, to local market towns, to hospitals, sports facilities, cinemas and theatres. At this time, many rural post offices are facing closure, and during the filming of this video, this one at North Cowton actually closed down.
It's a social service in a village, a post office, rather than a business.
It is.
Yes.
You listen to what people say. Yeah.
However, daily postal deliveries and collections continue.
By the 1950s, people were starting to work in Darlington, especially the young people. They were leaving the land, farming was becoming mechanised, and fewer men were needed on the land. The younger element in the village, the girls and young women, tended to work at Peyton and Baldwin's in Darlington, whilst the young men went to learn engineering trades in the railway workshops. And so every morning there was a 6:30 bus out of the village that was absolutely packed with all the young people effectively leaving the village. They then tended to find partners from outside the village, and many moved to Darlington or Teesside. What really stimulated the growth of the village, and what has been the central characteristic of it in the last 30 years, is the commuter coming in with a motor car and driving to Northallerton, Darlington, Teesside. This could only start when the village had running water and main sewerage. Without those, there was never going to be development in the village. The water came in 1950 and early 50s, and the sewerage came in the early 60s. And with those two in place, we then had the possibility of development, which is what we've had in the village for the last 30 years.
"30 years ago, next door to North Cowton Village Hall, St Luke's Church was built. It replaced a former tin mission church on this site. Joining in the celebrations is the Right Reverend David Jenkins, formerly Bishop of Durham, who was retired into the deanery.
Actually, the Cowman did a cartoon about his God and me, but he never published it. It showed God sitting in his office in heaven, and there was an in tray and an out tray, and the in tray was full, and the caption said, "Not the Bishop of Durham again."
Moving to All Saints Church in East Cowton, we witness the village tradition of tying the church gates to prevent a newly married couple leaving until they have thrown money for the children to collect. As in many villages, small groups of willing volunteers meet to organise local events. Here we see a committee in East Cowton meeting to plan for a much-needed new village hall.
And we are still searching for a new site for a village hall, which we of course hope will be sorted out by the next millennium.
The existing huts in both villages serve their communities well for a variety of activities.
Please, sell me to a handsome prince. I eat duck and beef. No more meat.
It's all a mirage. It's all a dream. These markets are not what they seem. Again, I fail to make some money, to make a sale. What's that? Thank you. A flash. A roll of thunder. My God, I think we've got a punter.
Visiting North Cowton, we call in at the Methodist Chapel Lunch Club and later find one of their annual fairs in progress. Many of the items on sale have been made by members of the chapel, including decoupage from the class which takes place here weekly. There is a primary school of approximately 50 pupils in each village, a community primary school in North Cowton and a Church of England voluntary controlled school in East Cowton. Here we are in the grounds of East Cowtons School, joining members of the local community planting the Millenium bluebell wood, consisting of 2,000 bluebells and a variety of native trees. Shortly, a Millennium sculpture produced by members of the local church youth group, directed by a professional artist, will be situated here.
They're preparing the bed to plant the Guelder rose. There's going to be a shrub thicket with 10 Guelder rose plants, and eventually they will grow up and make a little roosting area for birds and other wildlife.
Children are well catered for by the Church Children's Club in East Cowton and a newly formed ecumenical children's club in North Cowton, each of which undertakes a wide range of activities, including craft, drama and music.
How do you think of what tree? Have you written more than one there? You've written loads. Oh, well, put your tree first. Do a circle around one again. Do your tree first. Okay. What colour I like?
In Children's Club, we've been doing a different continent each week. The week before we made those African drums, we did Asia.
Thank you very much for this.
A Wednesday club provides an opportunity for senior citizens to share in social activities together.
We have a prayer of thanksgiving.
The churches are active today, and here we join in with a service held amidst the rides of the travelling fair, which visits North Cowton at the beginning of June each year. This service and an annual outdoor Christmas carol service are organised by churches together in the Cowtons and attract many people from all parts of the parish.
Lord, for fairgrounds and fun. Hooray! For sideshows and sunshine and rain.
Hooray!
For waltzers and swing boats.
Hooray!
For water chutes and dashing dodgems.
Hooray!
For whizzing planes and great big dippers.
Hooray!
For tunnels, mazes, slides and swings.
Hooray!
For all that makes us really happy.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
The Cowtons have a long religious history, with legend telling that the bones of St Cuthbert rested here in the year 875. Our record of the Cowtons at the turn of the millennium comes to a close as we visit a service held at St Mary's Church, South Cowton, a church now in the care of the church's Conservation Trust. This service was held on New Year's Day in the year 2000, when the bells of St Mary's were rung to welcome the new millennium, and parishioners joined together to say the National Millennium Resolution.
Let there be respect for the earth, peace for its people, love in our lives, delight in the good, forgiveness for past wrongs, and from now on, a new